Talk to you about our work and to give you a little flavour of West Chadsmoor Family Centre and how we do our bit in the community of West Chadsmoor. Behind me, I believe, are a selection of photos of some of the activities that have happened over a number of years. And as is previously mentioned, we'd like to say how proud we are to have received the Queen's Award this year. I plan to give you a little background to the Family Centre and how it began 23 years ago. The doing our bit with our parents, staff and volunteers, to talk about the services we offer and to give you an insight into the strengths and challenges of running a voluntary centre organisation. To talk about the services which I have called over and above the average, which are things that happen on a regular basis but are not planned for but just need to be sorted. And to conclude the talk, a little roundup of it all. So to begin, the background. The Family Centre opened 23 years ago on the 1st of May 1996. It was started by the Preschool Learning Alliance as a 3-year project. The development worker at the time was an ex-local primary school teacher, and she knew that many preschool children didn't access any nursery provision, and they struggled when they entered full-time school. Back then, community projects were not something that were widely available, so this was quite a new concept. The vision of the development worker was that the project should be located within pram-pushing distance of the local schools and be a place that parents and children could just drop in. That concept has never changed. We still offer the opportunity for parents and children to just come along and access what is happening on that day and to play and learn together. Our ethos is that everybody is welcome at any time, and our motto is, if we can help, we will, and if we can't, we'll find somebody that can. After the 3-year project ended, we became an independent organisation and formed a management board, and eventually became a charity and a company limited by guarantee. Moving on to our parents, staff and volunteers. The essence of any organisation is the foot soldiers, and we are no different. Our volunteers and staff are the lifeblood of our organisation. They are local people with local knowledge and an understanding of the community. We have a staff team of 9 and a volunteer team of 7. Within our staff team, 4 of them were originally parents who went on to volunteer, and then when a group of them expressed an interest in training in childcare, we set up a scheme where they did their MVQ qualifications whilst working at the Family Centre, and the local provider came and assessed them on the job. And eventually they became workers with experience of being a parent to pass on knowledge and understanding to other parents. Three of our staff have gone on to become adult teachers and peak practitioners, all of which is used on a regular basis at the centre. And we've kept the concept of having people training on the job, and we currently have a member of staff who is working towards a MVQ2 in childcare. Most of our volunteers do come to us after their children have gone to nursery or to school, or through local networks with other organisations. We currently have a Bulgarian lady who has come to the area and was quite isolated and wanted to do some volunteering, and a Romanian lady who came with her husband and a son, and when he went to nursery she began volunteering for us because she had been very isolated in her early days, and we'd provided her with the support she needed and she wanted to give something back. We currently open the centre 3 days a week, and we're open for 50 weeks of the year. We would like to be open more, but as we've all discussed this evening, funding is limited. We offer activities to both the parents and the children. For the children, we offer activities they can share with their parents or carer, and these include play and stay, rhyme time, little cooks, our peep group, baby group, outdoor physical play and messy play, to name but a few. And for the adults, we provide adult education, a parent support group and an early intervention support service to the families that attend the centre. Extra to this, we've got an allotment at the back of our building and a little secret garden where the children can play safely. Over 23 years, we have met challenges and tried to move with the times. So our programme of activities has changed to meet the needs of the community and the local priorities. We work closely with local commissioners and have run projects for the County Council, excuse me, including the PEEP programme in the children's centres across Cannock Chase before the closures came into place. And we've been part of the BRFC programme and we ran an early intervention project for 2 years. We're also very grateful to the local council who give us the building on a peppercorn rent. Our challenges, well, there are lots of them, but never having enough time to do everything we'd like to do on the budget that we have to run the family centre. Again, something we've echoed this evening through many of the speeches. Constantly managing several funding pots to deliver our service so that we can keep the activities on offer to the community. So our planning is never able to go more than a few months. And keeping our building maintained and looking good, because we are a group of helpless women. Getting time to go out and promote ourselves is also a big challenge because we're too busy doing what we do. There's never time to go out and do the promotion bit. Our strength are the success stories and the positive outcomes for local families. And there are many, but I don't want to keep you all night. And this is alongside having local knowledge, local staff and volunteers, and a good reputation for helping people. We're also well connected with other organisations and local schools and support organisations such as Support Staffordshire and Staffordshire Council for Voluntary Youth Service, and our length of service to the local community. We now come to the over and above activities, and I think these are what our real strengths are. One, we always give our families time to develop in whatever way they want or need to. And some of the examples that I give, again, which are many, I will read to you now. But families arrive on our doorstep and we're often not aware of their background or any problems they have. And we explain it like peeling an onion. Each layer highlights a bit more information. We've supported 2 Syrian families with no English who relocated to England and were placed in our area, and we learnt to use Google Translate very well in this time. Also a single mum from Cameroon and her 7 children who arrived in the area due to domestic abuse, which has also been mentioned this evening. They actually lived in the area for 14 years and along the way had many traumas. We have accompanied people to housing meetings, CAB appointments, doctors and nurses appointments when there's nobody else to go with them. We've looked after children so mum don't have to take them to the doctors for their own appointment. We've caught the buzz with families so when they didn't know how to get to us. We've collected from home because they couldn't get there any other way. And one particular family where mum suffered with severe mental health problems, we took the children to school for over a year. We make time to give one-to-one discussions with the parents when they need it. We've helped complete personal independent forms for people with health issues, and we offer constant reassurance to a lot of our parents who suffer with anxiety and depression. 80% of the mums who attend our centre come with suffering of anxiety, depression and no confidence. We have a 2-way swap scheme with the local food bank. We hold food bank vouchers to give struggling families vouchers that they can take and get food. And the food bank donate to us baby food and nappies and sanitary products, which we distribute to our families. The list goes on, but a couple of stories I would like to share with you about some particular families. The first one will stay with me forever. One snowy morning, we closed the centre because it was too dangerous to park outside, but the staff had made it into work. And I walked to the local shop to buy some milk and met one of our mums. She said that they were all ready to come out when we texted to say we weren't open, so they thought they'd come out for a walk anyway. I looked at her face and something told me not to let her go home. I invited her to come round with me and have a cup of tea, which she did. She then disclosed to us that she was feeling very low and that she was seriously considering ending it all. After a long discussion, we gave her some hope and some ideas to think about. She later told us that if we hadn't have taken her for that cup of tea that day, she probably wouldn't have been with us. But she's now changed her life dramatically. She's moved back to her hometown in Wales and is leading a very full and active life. And two amusing stories that I thought I'd just share with you were one of a gentleman in the very early days when we shared our building with the council's neighbourhood office, and an elderly gentleman came to us, but he was very deaf and we couldn't make him understand that we needed to know what his name was and where he lived to be able to help him. So after 10 minutes or so of trying to make some sense of what he was telling us, we actually followed him home so we could then report his problem to the council. And lastly was the Syrian dad who, as I've already said, had no English, but came with a piece of paper telling me he wanted to buy a canary. I scratched my head at this one, and I didn't realise how hard it was to buy a canary. But the encounter involved lots of arm flapping and running around the room to demonstrate what he was after. I could go on, but I'm sure you've heard enough of me now. But in conclusion, it's been a roller coaster ride, but the successes have outweighed the struggles. I hope you've gained a flavour of what we do and a little insight into what running an organisation in the voluntary sector is like. Thank you for listening.